Urban Voice Media family, I am very, very sorry that I got caught in traffic. I know we're running a little bit behind. It's 7:22. We're supposed to start it at 7. Family, please forgive me. You see me on the streets, give me the pound hug, and I'll give it back to you and everything for making up this 22 minutes of lag time. But I had to catch up on my notes. Everyone out there, please be safe. Be safe. Today coming in, I was behind a big crash up on the highway, and it was speeding is nothing good, people. We have to slow down and take our time sometimes. And the places we're going, they're not going to go nowhere. It's still going to be there. So let's take our time and be safe and have safe and happy travels as we go along our days and times. With that being said, today, roundtable session is going to take us into the love zone. With Valentine's Day is approaching us near, we felt like that today's session, the topic of the day, is very, very hot. And it's a hot topic that men and women go through on a daily challenge of, is this guy for me? Is this lady for me? Why am I having problems with her? Why am I having problems with him? Why he won't act right? Why she won't act right? Why come I can't be enough for him? Why come she act like she got to have 2 and 3 men? Why isn't my money enough? Why do I have to work 3 jobs and she's still not satisfied? Why am I working and he don't even want to work? Those questions, hopefully in this podcast, you will get some answers if you listen closely to the guest speaker that I have coming up. We're going to go to a short break. When I come back, I'm going to bring my guest up.
You are now tuned into Urban Voice Media.
Family, sit back and relax. Take your time. Turn the TV down. Whatever you got going on right now, please turn the TV down. Turn the radio down. Turn the children down. Turn your wife down. Turn your husband down if they don't want to listen to this show right here. But By all means, please give full attention as I bring the guest up from Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, Malik Truth. Malik, my
What's
brother.
going on, brother? How you doing, brother?
You the man.
Oh, bro, we are the men. We are the men. Yes, we are. Hey, look, man, I want to thank you for allowing me to grace the airways with your show through the Urban Voice Media. I want to thank you for accepting when I reached out to you and looking into that which I have to offer, what God gave me to offer the world. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for following up on that.
You had placed a video in the Urban Voice, no, excuse me, in the Roundtable Session group. And in that video, I sat there and I listened. I said, this brother, man, he said so many things I've said in so many relationships I've been in, and the ladies didn't listen. But you also said some things I had to go back and, like in my new relationships, I tell people I had to fix me. I had to change what was wrong with me first before I went on, because that was one thing I never took time to do in any relationship I jumped into. But I'm not going to spoil it. Malik,
It's all right.
let me ask you, what inspired you to write the book, The Design Dating Purpose? What inspired you to do that?
Oh, bro, what inspired me to do it was a very tumultuous relationship. This relationship did a lot of things to me psychologically, and it got me very depressed. I mean, because when you're in a relationship, we have a tendency to tie our identity to that person. And a lot of times that's where we get the I can't live without her, or I can't live without him, because we've tied not only our energies, our souls, but our identity into that individual. And without them, we see nothing for ourselves. So I kind of fell into that. And it did some major damage to me, where it was a point where I thought I just wanted to end it all, because I considered myself a failure, and every trauma that had ever occurred in my life started just jumping up at me, and it just became overwhelming. And then one day, when I was heavily contemplating the idea of just checking out, I believe I heard God say, write. And when I began to write, everything that was in me began to just be purged. And I tell you, man, it took about 3 years, but God gave me something very powerful it's healing me, and it's healing others, because I get a lot of requests, to speak. I get a lot of people sending me emails. I get a lot of people sending me things on Instagram and Facebook, telling me that, wow, this story of yours, so.
Speaking of the story, when you had placed the video in the Roundtable Session group page, you started out with quotes from the Bible. In your book, and everyone knows I love to read the book. I love read books before I do the interviews. USPS messed this one up.
USPS messed it up way back.
But yeah. you had stated you take quotes from the Bible before you lead up into what it is you're trying to get the people to understand in reference to that chapter or that topic. Is the Bible something that guided you and helped you to understand where you need to be within relationships?
Yeah, there's a lot of spiritual guideposts that I have in the book, and I do believe that many of us use the Bible as a guidepost, and then many of us use different people's motivational speakers, quotes as guideposts, to motivate ourselves, to gain inspiration, aspiration, so that's why I decided to put, a lot of different quotes as well as Bible quotes, just to give people a guidepost.
Before we go any further in the interview, let the viewers know where they can purchase your book from.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you want a autographed copy sent, so long as USPS don't be messing it up. you you can cash at me at $ capital THE capital DESIGN 2020, and I can send you an autographed copy. Should you not choose to go that way, then you can also go to Amazon.com, type in Malik Truth, and my book will be right there.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm about 2,800 out of the dating relationships book, and that's pretty good.
Sounds great. I'm gonna roll back and I'm gonna go personal with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. You had advised that some trauma happened to you when you were very young with your father and a lady that he was seeing. Can you tell what happened and how that affected you and does it still affect you now?
Well, no, and I went through therapy, and the therapy that I got was free because I'm in the mental health, mental and behavioral health field. Been in that field for over 11 years. So I met up with a lot of therapists who decided to help me process certain things. And the majority of them were women because they seen, Malik, there's something in you that you haven't learned to process yet. And I think that's the reason why you're treating women the way you treat them.
All right, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. All right. People, a lot of women don't understand that men have feelings as well as they have feelings, or we can be just as sensitive as they can be as sensitive, and we can be bruised and hurt, say if they've been molested. Some people don't understand that we're human, we're just like them. So is that a factor that, where you can see yourself, I can understand a lady's feeling if she's been abused or molested.
With men, it's a machismo thing. It's a macho thing. We're supposed to be infallible, indestructible. And when a man has been violated, whether it be by a man or a woman, violation is violation. Violation, when it comes, it damages the individual. It damages the victim very deeply. It cuts very, very hard. It can confuse the victim. It can turn the victim into becoming the victimizer. In this situation, I didn't become the victimizer in the sense where I began to molest others, but I became the victimizer in that every woman that I was seeing, I would hurt before being hurt. So I can detect if you're about to hurt me or think you're about to hurt me, then I'm going to do it first.
Right.
And I'm gonna do it hard, and I'm gonna do it fast, and I'm gonna jump ship. And I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna ever feel the pain that I felt when I was a kid.
At what age did you start doing that to where you said, "Hey, I got to stop it"? At what age did you start hurting women before they hurt you until you said, "Hey, I got to stop this"?
Wow, I did it ever since I was a teenager. And I stopped at around about the age of maybe 35.
Okay.
And I'm 50 years old today. And I stopped at the age of 35.
Welcome to the club, brother.
Yeah. 50, half a century. Boom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lady on the Shirlenia Brown says, exactly, I feel you on that. There's a lot of people out there, Malik, that has been traumatized with molestation. Some people I know personally, they don't talk about it for years. And then when they do talk about it, it's a rage within them. Some people don't affect them at all. But some people, it builds, especially with males, and that's what I'm speaking in reference to the males, it affects them. And when they do talk about it, the first thing they want to do is go and hurt the person who hurt them, even though they didn't carry that hurt on their shoulders in any relationship. Well, maybe they did carry it on their shoulders in those relationships, but didn't know that it was carrying it.
Well, what we do in the world of psychology, we understand and know that there's a term called protection mechanisms. And a lot of times these protection mechanisms can go so deep and rise so high that there's no way that we can How that song go, so high can't go over it, so low can't go under it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how trauma becomes when we build these walls of protection. And you get these men and women who walk around, who proclaim they're healed, but they're hiding through their successes. You know, maybe their money, maybe their things, maybe their status, you know, their prowess. They're hiding it through that. So it looks like they've healed, but all they've done was learned how to throw a Band-Aid over it.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I think, I feel a lot of people are experiencing that. And they don't know how to get help, or they don't know how to say to yourself, I need help.
Yeah,
And
that's the tough part.
Was that a tough part for you, to where you had to get to that point where you said, hey, I need help?
I had to learn it, because you got to understand, learning how to get help is cultural. You know, depending on what your culture is, you're going to see therapy as an enemy or something negative, or there's a stigma on it. I go to therapy, therefore I must be crazy. No. You know, so what it took for me is going into the mental and behavioral health field is when I began to start understanding and knowing, wow, there's something to this thing they call trauma. I'm jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that my molester, when she was molesting me, even though I was young, but I got a feeling that when she was molesting me, that she was telling me she loved me, because I always associated love with sex. And if you didn't give me sex, I don't care if you were nurturing, you gave me money, you were supportive. If I didn't get the nookie, that means you didn't love me. In my mind, in my damaged mind. And this is what trauma does to us. Trauma breaks us deep within. And we need someone to help us to explore that pain deep within. Bring that to the surface. You get a lot of these motivational speakers, they talk about, don't talk about your pain. Don't talk about your past. Your past is the past. No, it's not. Your past is deep within you and has the propensity to come out at any given moment and mess up any type of engagement that you have, whether it's a job, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship with a boy and a boy, girl and a girl, or girl and a boy. However the situation is, it has a propensity to creep up and mess with it, because you haven't learned to identify what it is, bring that pain to the surface, and then deal with that pain. And that's what a lot of us don't know how to do. And in order to gain the courage to deal with that pain, you first have to identify it.
I'm watching the chats right now. We have a lot of ladies right now chatting in the chat screen, and they're asking a lot of ladies to join in. Malik, I really do think that this conversation here, even though I titled it up in reference to Valentine's, everyone's a sweetheart, and everyone needs to be loved, should be loved, and deserve to be loved. But how you are being that sweetheart, how you're being loved, really factors on something that we're going to get deeper into in your book. And it titles back to what I was hitting with you in reference to, you got to fix you, or try to fix you. That's the beginning, because can a person really truly fix themselves from being from trauma?
Yes. It's done through faith. Everything is done through faith. But you have to first identify that which you believe you can overcome. If you don't believe you're a drunk, then you ain't never gonna leave that bottle alone. If you don't believe you a hoe, you ain't never gonna stop hoeing. If you don't believe that pimping is a negative thing, you ain't never gonna stop pimping. And on and on and on. You have to see the detriment in the pain You have to see the detriment in the trauma in order to grab that thing by the neck, choke the hell out of it. And sometimes you got to keep choking it, because remember, in the Bible, Paul says that he has a thorn. It's like a thorn in his side, constantly reminding him who he used to be. But every day he learned to overcome it by saying, I put these things underneath me so that I might not sin against you. So we put that pain underneath us, knowing that it is defeated, continuously every day, learning how to defeat it as it continues to want to creep back up upon us.
Now, Malik, I think that's what makes your book a lot different from other books, relationship books, is because you go back to the Bible. In so many relationship books you see out there, they're not referencing to the Bible. And the structure, like you said, that's the structure. But sometimes we have to use modern day words and terms and analogies to really hit the core, to open up a person's mind to see what it is that Bible really want to tell you, tried to tell you, and need to tell you in reference to love, relationship, and life. I'm gonna say that to go to the first point. You started out your video, your session with roll. A lot of people like to roll with the punches. Let them all where they may. You know, I'm in this relationship. I know he clubs a lot. I know he got a lot of lady friends, but he tell me he loved me. So I'm just gonna roll with it before we go. How does that play out with most relationships?
Man, that's ambiguous movement. That's ambiguous. That's moving with an ambiguity. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have been taught to move in ambiguity rather than moving with intention. Because here's how ambiguity works. I know there's a lot of females out there and a lot of brothers out there who have had that one lady and that one brother who they're like, damn, I got to have them. And when they finally gave them the time of day, that wow factor or that awe factor or that eye candy moment took over their rational thinking, which means they went into that ambiguity mode where they were just saying, hey, let's just exist. And whatever comes up, we'll deal with it then. Okay. We see how that's not altogether that successful. And my book wants to lead you to more successes through intention rather than, how can I say, lucked upon success. Because if you luck upon that success, can you repeat that? Because you can't repeat a formula that you never wrote down.
Right.
You're gonna be just keep guessing and hoping you fall upon it again. So my book is there to teach us how to move and maneuver in a relationships, especially when it's new and you're dating, and use intention, use honesty, use accountability. Accountability is going to keep you honest with yourself and that other person. Because if you just want to get down, man, just tell them that. Why you got to lie to get it? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to lie to kick it.
Well, you know,
we're taught that.
Malik, at our age, you know, it's kind of hard to tell a lady, you know, I just want to get down, because most ladies, unless we're looking at them young ladies, but most ladies 40 to say 45 on up, they like, look, dude, we're looking towards retirement and traveling and seeing some things. I can't have you out there dipping here, dipping there, and dipping everywhere. So just kicking it ain't gonna happen. So a lot of guys still today want to be boys, want to be men boys. They ain't ready to settle down. Don't know when they ever will, but
right.
And you got women out there doing the same game.
Girl, women, yeah.
So
or
I mean,
women, girls. Yeah.
I mean, when you went through so many relationships, and you keep saying, "Hey, I keep finding the wrong lady." Is he actually finding the wrong lady?
Everything is dependent upon how he sees or how she sees what it is that she wants to see, how he or she is presenting themselves to that other individual. I have a good friend by the name of Lynn L. James. She's a fantastic writer. I read her book a lot. It's called How to Beat the Odds from A to Z. And I'm always pumping up people, because I believe what is for me is for me.
Right.
And God loves a cheerful giver. So I'm giving when I do this. And I learned from her that, dating energies is between two people that are trying to connect. And I've always said that. And even in my book, I talk about connecting and synergizing, when two people are connecting. And I talk about what happened to the days where we were little kids and we were just able to play in the sandbox. Our minds was pure.
Right.
Our hearts were pure. Our intentions was pure. And if we loved little Susie up the street, we loved little Susie up the street, not because we wanted to hit little Susie, is because we enjoyed the way little Susie laughed. We enjoyed the way little Susie would bring me that popsicle because she liked me. Those things that headed towards friendship things. But life happened to us, brother. Life happened to us through poor teaching from our parents or our uncles or whatever socialization institute we were subject to. And bad experiences happened to us, traumas happened to us, and it messed that up. And then what happened? Too high to go over it, too low to go under it. That little boy and little girl in many of us has not been properly dealt with to begin to heal.
Malik, you had stepped on something when I was probably 19 years old. We had a game called Squeeze the Lemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was the girls playing football with the guys.
Okay.
And if you get to talk to the girl, you get to squeeze the lemon.
You get to squeeze the breasts.
No, not that. No, they didn't have none of that back in our days. Back in the 70s, early 80s, they didn't have those. But you got to squeeze the booty. You know what I'm saying?
Squeeze the booty. Okay, yeah, we have. Okay, y'all call it lemons. No, I come from North New Jersey. They was thick.
Oh yeah, yeah. But we got aroused, but we weren't looking to do anything.
Yes, exactly.
Now I see a lemon, get aroused. Let me get your number. Let's go to my house. Let's go to your house.
Exactly. And you know what, bro? There is nothing wrong with that because we are sexual beings. But if that's if that's your place of existence, give that woman or women, give that man a fair chance. Knowing that's all you want. Because when you lie to kick it, you place the other individual in a disadvantage emotionally and spiritually. Because when you have sex, that's soul ties. You sharing some very spiritual energies. You know what I'm saying?
Malik, I see a lot of ladies putting sexual things on social media. They want a man with a big penis. He got to fix this. He has to work, of course, have a job. But are they really telling? It's hard to say what a good guy is. Are they really telling a man who want a long-term relationship / marriage, you ain't the one for me? Because first, all you said is you want a man with a big penis. And he could be 6'6", 6'5", 6'3". He's 5'11". But he's a good man, work hard. And he might not have one of the biggest, but he can give you good loving for 2 hours.
There you go.
You don't knock him out the box.
Right.
So why are ladies putting why do ladies think that in reference to a relationship and a man?
I like to say, judge not lest ye be judged. Everybody has a place that they're at. And if that's the place that she's at, and you're not ready to deal with that kind of world, well, thank God. Thank you done missed the bullet. You done dodged the bullet. You know what I'm saying?
But how do they? I guess I scared the question wrong. But they're looking for a good man. But look what they throwing out there.
Right. Remember earlier I said it's how we present ourselves. Okay, so if she's presenting herself as one who considers sex up here, and she meets a guy, then they have something in common. Doesn't mean that they're balanced, because they still have to search and seek and discover each other to find out how well balanced that they are. They just know that they have that in common, that one area in common. And if that's what she wants and she's being honest about it, more power to you. At least she's being honest about it, because that's her place in her state of mind right now. And if a man is not there, then he's not going to have interest in her anyway.
Right.
Only a man who's on her plane is going to have interest in her. Now, when she matures, she may get that brother that once was not interested, but now is, because now he sees that she's displaying the value that is within her queen.
You had spoken reference to discover yourself first, fact finding about you. I find, a lot of ladies saying there's no good men no more. Men, hashtag, if you're single, if you're single, you do the hashtag thing, and you got 12 million women hashtagging they're single. It can't be because there's no good men.
No. Their definition of good man could be skewed, and their definition of good man could be something different from another woman's definition of good man. One man's definition of a good woman is gonna be different from another. For one guy, he'd be like, man, she get good head, man, that's a good woman. She get good at home. You know what I'm saying? For another brother, he might be like, look, man, a woman that supports my dreams, man, that's the woman for me. We all have our different perspectives and definitions on what we feel like something good is. And it is not until we truly discover ourselves. Because remember, brother, when the older we grow, the more mess buries that which has never been healed. You feel me? So it's time for us to dig deep within ourselves and discover that hurt little boy and rescue him and heal him and set him free. And for women, dig deep within yourself, discover that hurt little girl inside you, rescue her, free her, and then you'll be free. You know why? Because now everything that was binding you and bounding you up from becoming that which God intended you to be is free now. You can become that now. It's like that demon. It's like that demon in different movies where they become exorcised. They're bound by that demon. They can no longer do that which is of light that was really in them. But when that demon is free, the cinematic effect is like, oh, light, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's within us. When we heal and release that hurt child in us and deal with that, man, so many things comes into light for us. And then we begin to understand our value because we don't have hurt blocking us anymore. We begin to understand the things that we really want because we don't have that hurt and that trauma blocking us anymore. In my book, I call that noise in our life. When we can learn how to get past that noise in our life and see and hear clearer, man, we're going to become that which we were meant to be and not what our circumstances made us be.
Urban Voice Media family, Malik Truth does not hold any punches. He grabs a lot of quotes from the Bible to lead up topics that he talks about in his book. You give teachings and guides for people on how to see the signs of a possible toxic relationship. Speak up on that.
Yes, a lot of that, what I go through in my book, it's towards the last portion, and it's within the discovery process, where you can see an individual for who they are if you just look for the right signs. So if an individual is, let's say, an abuser, they can't hold that facade for too long the abuse is going to come out. And it is your job, especially since abuse happens predominantly women being the victims. Men are victims too, but women are more predominantly. So if you are a victim, you have to learn how to see that individual before you make that commitment where you tie yourself in with that individual. In my book, I teach how to discover the person while you're going through the dating process. Because if you can discover these certain quirks, you can make the decision there whether you're equipped to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I believe that it's very important for us to learn how to maneuver in the dating process with intention and not just going with the flow. Mm-hmm. You know, being ambiguous.
Mm-hmm. You have a copy of your book on hand right now?
Yes, I do.
Show the viewers what the book looks like. So when they go to Amazon, they'll make sure.
Okay, let me get a clean copy because I got the copy that I that I read out of all the time.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna lead this next question up, Malik. I had one. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Design Dating Purpose, Malik Truth. Is that a first edition or?
Yes, this is my first copy. Well, my first edition, and the next one is going to come out. It's going to talk about marriage.
Awesome. Malik,
and I'm gonna keep it real.
I had a lady that hit me up and asked me to give ladies advice from a male's perspective on relationship. How would you answer that?
That's very broad. Very, very broad. Give women advice on relationships. Basically, it depends on where you want to go in that relationship. Mm-hmm. Where do you want to take it? So I like to tackle things piece by piece because advice on relationships is broad. Mm-hmm. What we want to do is be able to focus on you as the individual and what it is that you want out of a relationship, how you see yourself, defining yourself, you know, not from a relationship, but within the relationship. What does that individual bring to you, and what do you bring to the table?
Is it fair to say, Malik, a lot of your book really is about defining you first, because you have to find the relationship within you before you find a relationship with another?
Yes, it's important. May I read something real quick, bro?
Sure thing.
All right, so there's a chapter in my book called Getting to Know You. And I say, we seek to know many things about another person, all the while forgetting about the main subject in a dating scenario, which is ourselves. Getting to know ourselves isn't always a journey we are prepared to embark upon. Because in the midst of discovery, we will encounter details about our lives that we've missed or swept under the rug because the pain was or still is too much to bear.
Is it safe to say you can go back to the point where you have to be honest with yourself as to what you did wrong, where you're going wrong?
Yeah. And it's powerful. It's powerful because you see the level of accountability in that statement when you say, let me see and let me discover what errors I made.
Mm-hmm. When you hear a person say, hey, I've been married 2, 3, 4, well, 2, okay, but 4 times, what pattern is going on there other than they just love getting married?
Yeah, I know, huh? A lot of people are just in love with the idea of being in love and in love with the idea of being married. But they haven't discovered within themselves that flaw that causes them to invite the same person and engage in the same behaviors. In order to extinguish a behavior, okay, you have to own that behavior. You have to own that behavior. If you don't own that behavior, how are you going to be able to change it, modify it? You know, so my book does what so many other books don't do. My book does not teach you how to play games. My book does not teach you tricks. You know, if anything, my book teaches you how not to be a trick.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's both for men and women, because men are out there tricking women and women are out there tricking men. You know what I'm saying? So we both become that victim of somebody else's warped fantasies.
Before we go further, I want to say thank you to Miss Shirlenia Brown. She just ordered your book, Malik.
Oh, thank you. All right.
All right. All right. Progress is happening. Progress is happening. We're going to take a first question from Ilunian. I am a high-functioning psychopath. How
I like that.
I maintain a relationship?
Well, unfortunately, sociopaths are incapable. If you're being facetious, I'm gonna answer it for real. And if you're not being, then you need help. You need therapy. But sociopaths are incapable of having a relationship because they see no one but themselves. No one else exists but them. That's that narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissism the Greek term comes from a narcissus who stared at himself till he died.
Now, where did your education come from?
I graduated from UNLV, and here's my diploma.
Awesome.
Yes, I was started off as a psych major, turned it into criminal justice with a psych minor, and I've enjoyed being able to utilize it in a mental and behavioral health field. And it was when I went to undergrad is when I discovered my love and my passion for writing.
Yeah. How does a person overcome being alone? They don't like to be alone. How do they overcome that?
Learn how to block that noise of being alone out your life, which is those thoughts, those negative thoughts that come with believing you have to have somebody. You ain't got to have nobody in order to be joyful, in order to have happiness. You create and make your own world of happiness. When God put Adam to sleep and took a rib from him and made Eve, he said, "That shall help me." He ain't say that she completes you. He said, "That shall help me." So my helpmate means that if you remove that individual from as a variable from the whole pie, I still exist. So learn how to be free with yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn your own worth, and then you'll be able to tolerate you. A lot of people don't like being alone because they got to deal with their own self. Right. And there's a lot of funky stuff going on with self that people just don't want to deal with.
Right. Right.
A lot of funky stuff.
Renee Ford asks, how do you talk to a child that have been raped or molested?
How do you talk to a child that has been raped or molested? My best advice with that is to be very supportive. Go to therapy, because that's how you explore those dark moments. Because I don't care how much of a super dad or super mom you are, there's just some things our children are not going to tell us. But they will tell a stranger that they trust, and that stranger is that therapist. There are deep, dark corners in our life that a good therapist can help us to explore and process and understand why it is that we act the way we act and do the things that we do. Like I said, I believe that my molester was telling me that she loved me while she was raping me, because I associated sex with love.
At that time period, did you feel like, hey, you I'm a man now, I'm a big boy now, I got power now? How did it make you feel as a young guy?
There was still I believe that there was still some hurt, and there was a lot of damage, and the damage manifested itself by the way I treated women.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn how to uh, become responsible for those behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I didn't become responsible for those behaviors till late in my 30s. But it ain't never too late to change. It ain't never too late to be great.
Malik, once again, can you plug where people can purchase your book?
Yes, sir. That will be at Amazon.com. You just type in Malik Truth and you can get the book. And if you desire a autographed copy from me, you can go to my Cash App, and Cash App, capital T, lowercase HE, capital D, lowercase ESIGN 2020, the design 2020. And once I get the payment, I will U.S. Postal Service that book.
People, please be patient. USPS is really having a hard time with
They're
the
having a hard
presidential
time.
election, COVID-19. A lot of postal workers are out, due to COVID-19 and the holiday season. They're bagged up big time. So please be patient. If the book don't come within a week or two, it's on its way.
Yeah, it is.
It's on its way. One thing, I came across a situation where a lady asked me, what do men want from a lady or their woman, their girlfriend? And the best answer I can give them, that I gave her, was, we just want you to support us. We want you to be our best friend. I don't want a lady down the street to be my best friend. I want you to be her. I want to be able to tell you everything and feel comfortable in telling you, versus telling Susie or Jane or Karen down the street. So if you can be that for me, that's what I need out of a lady, is a lady to support me. And you expect reference to supporting and going down, having goals and going down paths. And you stated it's not necessarily that both people have to go down the same path.
No, you don't. You just need to find balance. You just need to find balance. Now, remember, in order for electricity to occur, it's got a positive and a negative. You feel me? Okay, so because of that, it tells you that everything does not necessarily mean or has to be the same in order for it to function. So in order for a healthy relationship to function, the two parties involved in that relationship does not have to be the same. You just have to know, excuse me, what you're ready for. So if this dude is crazy, like brother Illuminati, who's a sociopath, and you ain't ready to deal with that, then you need to leave Illuminati alone. If you're dealing with Sharice, and Sharice a little crazy, and she show you how crazy she is sometimes when you do things to her. If you ain't ready to deal with Sharice, you need to leave Sharice alone. Because that is not your attraction flow. If you're not ready to deal with them, because they're going to always be the dominant force. And in order for a healthy relationship to work properly, that power has to be shared. That love has to be shared. No one can love another more than the other. No one can have more power than the other. It becomes unbalanced. So I think through discovery and proper and effective communication, you learn how to understand how well we're balanced together.
And with balance doesn't mean that you have to be as equal as I am in reference to what I know or what I obtain. Because once again, you should have your own goals, your own aspirations. You shouldn't want mine or have mine.
Yeah, we ain't both got to be doctors. We ain't both got to be scientists. You know what I mean? Look at Pretty Woman. She was a hooker and he was a billionaire. But there was something that she had that meshed well with his completeness. And not that she completed him, because we're already complete. It's just that individual added something to that beautiful home already. Because if I take that addition off of that home, it's still a beautiful home without that addition. But that addition adds something to it, as that umami to a person's life. Like, they use the word umami in culinary, which means they can't describe it, but damn, this shit is good. Is that umami? So it's an umami in a relationship that occurs, that gives it that balance, and it gives it that future and that health that it needs. So yeah, two people ain't got to be doing the same thing. She got her goals, I got mine. But guess what? When we meet in the middle, fireworks.
I heard that.
Fireworks.
We got another question up. This one's kind of lengthy here.
What is the best form of therapy for someone who has dealt with sexual traumas? Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. What happens is that when trauma hits our lives, it skews our thought process and our perception. And what we have to do is we have to, from what my therapist friends have told me and what I have read, is that when we explore, we learn to understand those traumas and what they've done to our life. And then we can begin to go through what's called a reframing process. Reframing, it simply means how you see the world. Trauma makes us see the world differently, sister. So differently.
Ill Boogie, I hope he was able to help assist you with understanding where you need to go with that one. That's something serious. There's more people than we know who has really been affected by molestation, some type of sexual encounter that we shouldn't have happened when they were young. Especially, a lot of Black people feel that it doesn't happen that much in the Black family, and yes, it does.
You better look at the color purple.
Yes, it does. Malik, are you doing any speakings with COVID going on?
No. Everything is local, and I do have my new radio show that's on BU Radio. Again, you can go to Facebook or Instagram and type in BU Radio. The name of my radio show is called Malik's Truth, and it's a beautiful it's a beautiful platform. It's a place where you can come and be transparent and talk about issues and just be free. Like we're doing now. Be free. We don't know how many brothers out there have been touched, but hopefully by me being transparent about my past poor experience could help another brother out there understand that you don't have to hide behind your macho.
Exactly.
What's macho is to get healed. That's macho, because it takes a lot of strength to take that step to start that healing process.
I feel that's where a lot of guys they hide behind the counter, so to speak. They don't want people to know what they went through, and some form or another, they don't want to get hurt again. So, like you said earlier, you first to attack, and that's where the relationship can go downhill, because you constantly got your fist up ready to attack. And really what you need to do is be honest and be forward and talk to someone.
Yes, sir.
Through therapy, let me ask you, before I'm gonna have to let you go, Malik. Through therapy, how long was the process for you to where you felt comfortable to where it felt like you could breathe now?
Right. After maybe a few years, and again that therapy came before the book. So what we're doing is we're constantly healing. We're constantly healing. We're not healed in the sense that everything that was ever wrong in our life is now gone. That's not that's not how healing works. You know what I'm saying? Is God a healer? absolutely. When you give him those things in your life that you're ready to be healed. So now you see how it happens in pieces. He ain't gonna heal that which you haven't given him. Remember, he walked up to the man that was blind and said, and blind and crippled, and said that pick up your mat and go wash your eyes and sin no more. So it was his eyes and his legs that was healed, but there was probably some other things in his life that occurred after he could see again. Some things that happened in his life after he could walk again. So that's why God said to him, sin no more, because it's a possibility that you can go right back into that which I healed you from.
And with Malik saying that, family, I hope he's helped you become healed from whatever may be troubling you in relationships, or a friend, a family member within relationships. Malik, can you show us the book one more time?
Yes, sir.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Design Dating Purpose, Malik Truth. Amazon has it. You can go to Cash App. Malik, I appreciate you coming to the roundtable session. When you finish this second book, please hit me up. Send me a copy.
You know I will, sir. You know I will. Let's hope USPS ain't tripping this time.
Oh man, we have to. We FedEx that bad boy.
Right. Look, man, if I have to, I'll send you another one, because you got to get that book, bro.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yes,
but this isn't over, Malik. It's not over. Because
once
it's over, it's over. By all means, I would love to have you to come to Charlotte and do a seminar, man. I would love to have that, and I love to get behind you with it and help Charlotte see some truth from Malik.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming to the roundtable session, brother. I'm gonna have to do a plug as we go on the out. Don't go nowhere. Hang out in the back with me, okay, bro?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you have enjoyed this video and want more content like this one on the channel, by sharing your appreciation, if you will, go to PayPal, paypal.me/Urban Voice Media. You can go to Cash App, $UrbanVM, Venmo, and also Patreon. There you can donate any amount which you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Urban Voice Media would like to thank you for your support while we provide more content for your viewing. UVM is the voice for the community.